All right, everyone. Looks like we're live. Already getting the party started on the chat. So I just want to talk to you real quick. Hopefully you guys can hear me and everything. Alexi and his camera. So what was the deal there? So he had several different cameras apparently going on there. Webcam, his iPhone. They were all cut in different shots. So you can see the iPhone when it comes on, it's really clear. When he has his regular camera, he films everything with it. You saw the picture go down to like Atari graphics, and that was what was going on there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I film high voltage in my garage all the time, and I have Tesla coils running. I have high voltage DC, high voltage AC going on sometimes. And as long as you stay pretty clear away from it, then you get a pretty clear shot. So don't know if it's camera. Don't know if something else is going on. Sometimes I get EMPs in here. Sometimes I get EMI. Sometimes everything just is wrong. So who knows, man? Who knows? So, but I generally can get a pretty good shot. I got like 4 different cameras. So I use my camera on my phone. I turn around and use, I have what is it called? GoPro number 11. I use that sometimes. I also use my regular camera. I shoot my videos with. Funny thing about that, I guess when I do the editing, I didn't click the right thing, so it didn't come out high resolution. It just came out whatever, and that's my fault. So probably camera quality in the future is going to get a little better. And then I have my webcam. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. I'm going to buy a second one. Use the Keo Pro. And you see it's pretty clear. I'm going to buy another one and put it close to the Graviflyer and see what I can get. Pretty happy with it. So anyway, yeah. Everybody, thank you for showing up today, man. Thank you for supporting the channel and hanging out with me today. And hopefully we'll all get to learn something. God knows I do every time we do something like this. Everybody's got a story to tell. So, yeah. I appreciate all the support, guys. Anyway, look, a couple different things that we're doing on this Graviflyer. You guys heard my last video probably. We're looking into what TT was saying about the high voltage going between the top and bottom plates and to see if it makes the field. Let me tell you guys, I got a second Graviflyer hanging right over here in my garage. The only thing I do on it is field testing. So I put out a Tesla coil field, and then I take a high voltage field. So if I run the Tesla coil field, say, on the center plate, then the high voltage field runs on the top and bottom. Then I can see if I can push the field out. Now, if I run the Tesla coil on top and bottom and the high voltage aside, the high voltage field will push out. And then the other way, when it connects to the center, we pull it in. So there's 2 different ways to look at high voltage fields when you're dealing with this. So when I do the field testing, I'm able to see both. So I know when the actual high voltage field is moving. And I can tell from, time and time again doing this on, separate testing, separate rig, then I know exactly what's going on. So when he said your Tesla coil and your field's a bit tighter, instead of it being here and here where it squished it, instead it's here, made all the sense in the world. When you look at his lifter, he's got a high voltage line top and bottom. In the center, he's got a Tesla coil, and it looks like a coil. So it makes all the sense in the world. I mean, you're not going to hide that when it's sticking right through the foil right there. I mean, I've been doing this too long. Not only that, there's a lot of other Tesla coil videos out there that'll show you a coil on top of the actual lifter. So it's kind of one of those things. And it's very interesting. If you guys saw Plasma Channel, he does that levitation experiment. He puts 2 pieces of flat material, and he has a little ghost that floats around. Pretty much the same thing, except for we're electrifying the ghost with a Tesla coil field. So I don't know, man. I'm all for it. If that's the easiest way to do it, we can make that work, because I could tell you exactly where those fields are. I can tell you when they push out, pull in, whatever they do. So that part would be pretty easy. It's easy to test. We just look for the motor to slow down. The upper motor controls the beat frequency of the whole craft. So when you get to that, it'll change everything. And then, but that's what that's only with the Tesla coil connected to the motors. That's how you could tell where the beat frequency goes. Sorry, I made a mistake earlier. When you connect your Tesla coil to the top and bottom, and you just run the wire straight through your Tesla coil and back around, it'll tell you the beat frequency of the craft will be your upper plate. That's the dominant plate. It puts out the higher frequency because it's having more rotations. So it'll tell you the beat frequency. So what do you think happens when you connect it to the center plate? Well, the highest beat frequency wins, just like it does when you connect it to your upper plate. Therefore, whatever's going in there, right into the top 4 inches of your Tesla coil. It's that simple. This is not one of those things you have to look for a frequency to tune. It's right there for you. He's already done it. The greatest thing about his system is he's accounted for everything in every way, so you don't have to look at any kind of oscilloscope to tune this thing. And that's probably one of the most interesting things I don't think people really understand. So it's just cool to see. All right, man. Let's see what we got here. Try to learn something? Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Well, live soon. Yeah. Hopefully, guys, look, I'm just looking for some signs of life. Pop it off the ground. Do something. Tip over. I mean, say hello, you're there. Shoot some voltage at me. I don't care. Just show me something. I think everybody's kind of the same. I look back on the time on this. I was kind of like astonished. I thought it was like a year or something that we've been doing this. And I guess it feels longer for me because I had a Tesla. I had a Graviflyer before this. And I ran it. It was kind of just like, do my own thing. But this one, I did this last time. I just went by the book on what he did. And I tried to make everything match, made STL files so everybody can follow along. Kind of did a build video, a wiring video, did all of it. Everybody can just see the truth. Put his video out there exactly what was in his craft. The best cure for everything is shine the light on it. And let's see it for what it is. I'm not here to lie to anyone. It does what it does. And I just report on it. So that's basically where we're at, guys. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you about this. I got too much integrity for that, and I just won't do it. I don't need to make money on YouTube. Matter of fact, I lose money every month. So it works out good for me just to share the information with you guys. You guys tell me how you like it, don't like it, whatever. And we'll move on from there. And then we'll try different tests until we get something working. Because look, I'm retired, man. This is what I do. I work on this thing, try to get it working. I have my own little studio in my garage. Nobody bothers me unless they want to do laundry, and then God knows what they do. They heat up my garage. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay. Yeah. Gonna fly. I hope so. Let's see. I gave it 30K volts and slowly more current build up. Watch your voltage on that. I just tell you right now, every time I do, it's like a lightning show. So I don't put too much into the high voltage. It's more of getting the upper and the bottom plate to lock together. And that's the biggest thing. I know everybody thinks of the magnets, right? Little information about magnets you may not know. I put the video out on my channel a long time ago. Magnets, if you run them anywhere around 4,000 RPM, you got probably a 1/4 inch of actual tight spacing that the wire will get. I don't know. It'll be like a generator. Past that, man, it drops off as soon as you get past get to 2 inches. It's done. The field's like has a point before it, and it's not very good at all. So you have to really rotate them. I did it about 7,800 RPM just in order to get something interesting out of it. So it gave me 3/4 of an inch. That's it. From the magnet itself, 3/4 of an inch out was the best field that I got from it. The rest, it dropped off by half after that. And then at 2 inches, it dropped down to point something. It was at like 2 to 4 or something like 2 to, I think it was around 2. Then it dropped down to 1. And these are in volts. And they went down from there. So, good luck with that. These magnets on the bottom here have shells on them. So there's a shell, there's a magnet, and the magnet only goes up. It can't spread out like this. So people think, hey, this whole device is about the magnet and it's got to spread out. No, not at all. Not the way these are built. They're built in a cup. That stops them from spraying out a big field. So they only go straight up. So it's kind of interesting. That's why the magnetic field on the top plate made sense, because you go magnetic field, we got the magnets going straight up, they interlock together, then the upper disc slows down, and then you start to get, the vibration in it. You start to get the resonance in the center plate, and that's where it comes from. So you just got to know that, and it's very important, that connection. And it's, like I said, it doesn't quite work the way you think it does. It's only going straight up. So I wish I had a better magnetic field. I put different magnets on there and tried it, some real heavy ones, and no good. Still, still wasn't putting out much of a field at all. Value in everything I'm doing? I hope so. Yeah. I try a lot of builds on this channel and show you guys exactly how they're done. Just, pointing out exactly how to build something. We better off know it. Like the Tesla coil I just did. I could have put motors on it. I could have put, put it on a lathe. Like I could have done a lot of things. The best thing is to take away the hesitancy of everyone else. I built something that looked like a piece of junk, but it worked beautifully and did my coil like amazing job. But it takes away all the other stuff. You start adding in motors and stuff, people look at it and go, oh man, that's just too much for me. Well, I don't want to do that. Hey, simple, get it done. That's right. We're on the money there. As long as it works, guys, that's all there is to it. Joe Pars. Anybody understand what Joe Parr did? You probably saw him on Ancient Aliens. He had that device that he says rotated. Well, electricity in a rotating magnetic field. Yeah, it might have taken off. I don't know that it did. I would love to see his equipment, that's for sure. So, but I always watch that on that channel. I wish there was more information on it, to be honest with you. Swap the poles on the plates. What did you do there? I switched the high voltage. Same effect. Magnetic field gets really strong. So as you put the negative on top and positive on the bottom, I did that, turn the whole craft positive. Let's see. Do I know what happened to Alexi? God, no. Look, I'm not the one in contact with them. Jared and Charlie C are part of a bigger group, and they have contact with him, and they said he's not reachable right now. So I don't know. I'm not directly involved in that. So, I wish I was, because I don't need a whole lot of words. Look, I don't necessarily speak Russian, but I've been watching it enough to tell you exactly what's going on. And if you show me the parts of it and halfway explain it, I'll get it, because I understand the experiments. So you're not going to hide much. That's what's going to happen here. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to do the exact experiments until I do. So, we'll get there. See, better at certain times of the year. Well, guys, just understand this. If you're outside and there's energy outside, you don't need to put the plates so close together, because we're inside of magnetics and high voltage, top and bottom. It's all already there. It's just so thinned out, we don't notice it. So does he get more when there's more energy outside? Yeah, he does. That makes all the sense in the world. When there's not a lot of energy outside, put them closer together. He needs the field to build up between the two discs, the upper and the bottom one. And in order to do that, it makes all the sense in the world to put them closer together. If you've done high voltage experiments and, made plasma displays or anything like that, you'd already know that. From the time of day you could test, you already know that. So, hey, Gerald. Hey, I want to see that. I want your channel. So I'm going to look you up after this video is done. Just put your channel name in there, because I need to check you out, man. Because that whole coil thing you got going on, man. I definitely want to see that. I was looking for you, and I couldn't get your page, man. So I definitely want to see that. So, yeah, let me see what it says. We got a bunch of people showing up, man. They showed up to the Free Energy Fridays, guys. So thank you for that. So I've been trying to kind of go around and check out what you guys are doing as well. And I'm all into that stuff, guys. Free energy. I made 4 devices already. And the hardest thing I've ever found is heat. You don't see it right away. It doesn't look like it's there. And if you don't account for it, it takes away all your energy. And it's such a small, minute amount of energy you get out of these things that every little bit counts. Every time you put in a diode, there's energy. Every time you put in, some kind of capacitor, it takes away, but it gives back. So you have to watch that. Every time it puts anything in there, you wrap coils anywhere around something, energy loss. You have to have a multiplier in the system, like a spark gap works. You also have to be able to get resonance in there. If you can't get resonance in there, you're not going to build the energy that you want. Everything you put in there, you want to get the resonance of that item. So the resonance of the magnet or something like that, you're going to need a multiplier if you want free energy on most of it. And that's, the rod and coil does that in that it crosses. That's probably the best point of the whole thing is when it crosses. Because if you can hit that right there when the energy is coming across it and you can amplify that, you're going to a lot more energy. So, yeah, I've worked on those things for a long time, man. And I can tell you right now how the magnetics work, how much it takes to push them, stuff like that. It's not always as easy as you think. It takes a lot of time and practice in order to get it right. So, yeah, I've had a couple of those, man. And, every voltage is a little bit different. So you have to watch out, high voltage, low voltage, everything reacts different. So, good luck to all you guys. I'll be checking on your projects, man. And if I can help, I always will. So anyway, let's see. Can you touch the Graviflyer? Yes. And I'll tell you why. If you ever seen the video of Alexi where he has the actual lamp and he has this little wire that's, it's sitting on top of, and then he puts it into the Graviflyer. Well, what he does is he touches it and his body takes in the energy and the light goes out. So what are you doing? You are becoming the capacitor to the ground. You're making that circuit. So your body, it's flowing right over you. It's not much different than a high voltage line and a bird sitting on it. I mean, that's really what he's doing. So what are you going to get? You're going to get heat right on the outside of the plate. That's exactly what you're going to get. And it'll be cold. You're going to shoot the little gun on there with the laser, and it's going to tell you 74 degrees. You touch it, it's going to burn your finger. So there's energy going through it. Yes, you could touch it. Yes. And if you notice on his shirt, static cling. As soon as he laid over it, static cling. He was pushing some voltage through the air that electrified the air. So you got some static cling going on. Kind of one of the things I don't see a lot of people pointing out, but he definitely did. So let's see. Iron core focus. Yeah. Iron core. Watch out for those things, man. You want, how do I say this? You want plastic kind of when you start on those experiments. You want iron core later when you start to build up energy. So use something different. And you got in there. Oh, man, I forget the name of it. There was a much better cobalt. Use cobalt as your core. Here's why. When it's sitting there, normally cobalt is like a plastic type material or aluminum when you put it in as your core, so you can start easier. Then when you cool it, it becomes a superconductor and it gives you out such a bigger magnetic field. So, change your different elements like that. And you're going to be able to get a multiplier out of it. Much better than a soft iron core. That's for sure. So, yeah. I like that rod and coil, man. I really do. I don't know if I have the patience to build it right now. I so much going on. I really like to do it, but I don't know that I do. So, let's see. It's also the recessive component when it comes to the skin effect. Yeah. He's separating the fields. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. TT came out with a video just recently where he showed the light turn on and the actual spark go out on the Tesla coil. I had that happen to me. I didn't really realize what was going on until he was saying it. He goes, "You can't lift it without it, without that, that light going out. Excuse me, not the light, but the actual ionization going on. That's got to go away into your Tesla coil. So it has to run without it. And when it does, you're actually doing what the Tesla coil is supposed to be doing." Interesting, didn't know it, and now I know to look for it. So I think that's going to be an interesting when we go there. Yeah, Alexi is creating charge separation. Yeah, that guy, man, he knows more than what you think he does. I mean, look, this guy wasn't dumb. I'm sorry. If you actually stop and wrote down every interconnection in this thing, guy's brilliant. He really is. I've never seen a capacitor so complex and works so well for him. And nobody else could figure it out quite yet. We're getting there, but man, he said it took him like 10 years to do it. And just imagine, we're in 4 months and we've already found so much different things in this. You know what I mean? It's absolutely unreal, man. So, we're doing good for the time span we got. I don't want this project to lag on, man. We're going to do everything possible to get it done. And you got my commitment on that. I build everything. I get sad when I look at the bill and I go, I spent $120 to blow it up in about 2 seconds. It's exploded on me. So I've had a lot of those days, man. A lot of them. So all you need is the permits, man. Oh, you're doing something over there. I definitely got to check out that channel. Let's see. Creates a field with the vortex in the middle of the flyer. Maybe he's creating that. It seems like more magnetics than anything else. And it could be, I guess you got to understand the fields aspect of it. If you can push a high voltage field with a Tesla field and force it out, what happens if that field gets too thick where you can't push it out as much? You need a sudden burst of energy. Guys, that's why I'm using that ZVS in the coil. I have a regular energy to start it. I hit a high voltage right after that, not super high. We're talking, I can go up to 80, 90 volts and hit it in one shot for a few seconds and no problem whatsoever. Get a full-on voltage boost and boom. I'm kind of hoping, to be honest with you, I find that field locks on there. I'm kind of hoping it forces those magnets down and shoves that thing down and just boom, pops it right up. I so wish that's going to happen, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm really looking forward to something like that. I may be the most giddy man on the planet for something just popping off the ground. So, yeah. He pushes the button 5 times, not just 3. And let me tell you the reason. And I get some speculation on this, changing the octave. And I can tell you that because I tap the center plate and I change it. What is it doing? It's setting the actual frequency of this thing. So there's frequency spikes, right? So you got to find the one that has the most amplitude. So what it'll do is it go here, it goes, hey, I'm on a frequency spike. No, not very good amplitude. So pushes the button again. Man, that one's a little bit better, has a little more amplitude, pushes again. Yeah, it's getting a lot better, but it's not there yet. He pushes it again. We're as high as we can go, you know what I mean, without the right frequency. As soon as he hits the last one, it goes into the megahertz frequency and boom, he's up. So it's changing. It's like changing the vocal cords on the singer. You tap, 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 change, hit the right tune, boom, we're off to the races. That's why he's doing it. It's 5 times. And I would say the 5th octave. Some people disagree with that, but that's what I'm sticking with, man. That because he taps that sucker that many times. So, what's going on, Todd? Hey, you know what? I'm never making fun of Todd in my videos when I say something. By the way, Todd, just so you know, it's fun because I know how smart you are. And I'll never be that smart. I'll be honest with you. I watch his channel and he goes through physics and stuff and he explains things, the things that I have to look up, just to figure that out. So I will always tease him that he's smarter than me because quite frankly he is. And it's kind of getting back in a little bit. Todd corrects me in my words and my verbiage a lot in my videos, and he's right. I mean, he's right. I'm not telling him he's wrong. He's absolutely 100% right, and I deserve to be corrected. But it's not anything out of malice. Just so you know, it's always out of fun, and you know what I mean, everything like that. And Todd, by the way, I heard that you're putting up a new facility or a new place to do all your experiments in. I absolutely look forward to that because if you don't know Todd's experiment, I think it's Warp Drive Tech is his name of his channel, and he removes any factor of any inconsistency there could be in an experiment, and he absolutely puts these things in an environment where they can't lie to him, and it matches his personality, and I think that's absolutely awesome. So, thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. Yeah, we would all love it. You know what? I bet you that right there would change a lot of minds if it just popped up. It would absolutely change a lot of minds. And yeah, I mean, think about it. You have something that's not supposed to lift off the ground. It's 3 pounds. It's not supposed to do that. If it shows any signs of coming up off the ground, it means that it's real. And no matter how you saw it before, how you saw the testing, blurry camera, whatever your doubts were, it's over at that point. It really is. You get something that's 3 pounds that pop up off the ground, man, I'm sorry. The doubts are over. It's time to just, get on with it and, just focus on it. And I'm sure we'll get a lot more eyes on it at that point. And you know what? It deserves it. If he really did create anti-gravity, and this is really it, I'm going to be very, very proud to be part of, proving his theory right. And, because that's all I'm doing here. It's not my glory. It's not my experiment. I'm basically just rebuilding his. So when I win, he wins. So I think it's awesome. Yeah, Shot says he has a new workshop. I want to see that. His own chain channel, because I'm going to be watching that thing. Okay, all right. Let's see what you got right here. Let's see. Get a Nobel Prize for that? It's Nobel Prize to prove, oh my God, validation and conservative momentum on a 98 scale. I doubt it'll go to me, though. I'll tell you that right now. Even if I get it to lift off the ground, let me just tell you, it's going to take a lot more than me. Because, as you know, I don't describe things well. I try to make it for everybody to understand. But as far as in physics terms, I'm an absolute train wreck. So it would take a lot of people to get together, do the right thing. And I just hope that, no matter what it is, it doesn't turn into some, hey, I got a university sponsoring me or I got this person, that person. No. You got to kind of get past that, and it's all got to come into one effort. And however you put it under the umbrella, you just have to do it. And we all owe it to ourselves to do that. This is something that's going to change humanity. And you know what? If I'm just like a little part of it, man, I can take that. That's all I need. So anyway. Well, I see gravity differently than most of you guys. I guess I do. So let me just describe it for you real quick. I'm sure you've watched my channel and heard it. Okay. You got a field up here. And if everybody knows when you rotate a magnet, you get different spheres that come out from it, right? So how is it that you get a ozone field and you get spheres of energy that come out from that? Well, the reverse has to be true. So it's basically a geometry question, okay? And to figure out where the spheres are inside the Earth. And you probably wonder, well, they come up with different layers inside of the Earth. Well, how do they come up with those? Probably the same thing. So you're going to have energy under your feet, and you're going to have it above you. That means that the layer we're standing on, okay, it's something different. It's the energy between two fields. So it's kind of like the plate in Lexi's Graviflyer, where you have the upper and lower high voltage, and the plate in the center is going to take all of it. So, when you think about gravity in those terms, where we're standing, we're getting a small amount. If we go lower, is the gravity harsher? Is what I wonder. Or if you go higher, we obviously know when you go higher how an airplane works and stuff like that. But when you get further down, there's more of a magnetic field. If you look at how basically a magnet rotates. So the question is, would it crush you when you get down lower? And if it does, then yeah, we have the answer to gravity. We have it the whole time. Could it be just high voltage fields? Guys, I think it's a lot more complex than that, but on a very simplistic level, it very well could be. So anyway, enough of that. I'm sure you guys just want to hear about the Graviflyer or something. It's an interesting topic to get into. So yeah, if we get things hopping, yeah, I guarantee you Todd will do the math for us, and he'll explain the physics behind it. And, I would expect that I'd visit him or he'd visit me at that point, and we'll, just share notes. I got a notebook here I don't share with anyone. I know a lot of you think I don't own an oscilloscope. It's just not true. I own a lot of different devices for checking out everything, and I keep logs on stuff. I just don't share them. That's something, something that I do for myself, just to keep notes on stuff and check things out and see where I was then, what I thought, and back and forth. That's just something when we get into when it actually goes somewhere, then I'll open them up and share them. But I don't generally do it. I don't know. Sometimes it puts people in the wrong direction. For some people to put them right in the right direction. So it's like a 50-50 shot, man. Sometimes it's an overload on your brain. Sometimes it's not you need that information. And I don't know what the best answer is. So I just kind of keep that stuff private. Let's see. Ken Wheeler describes gravity as a pressure differential between 2 points in the ether, in which it's interesting to look at it about. Yeah. I don't want to say this. If you look at the rod and coil, you'd have to put a plate, and another one, because the rod and coil has to do with energy flow. It's all about how it flows. Just like the ley lines on our Earth, it's about energy flow. And energy flows in water, it flows in lava. So you get a lot of different things that are going on inside the Earth. I don't think it's solid lava. I don't think it's, solid core. And, there's water oceans inside rocks. If you guys ever studied granite and how it works when it's water comes into it, you could basically put a piece of granite with a little bit in water, and it'll suck up all the water into the granite. You can use heat to act like a heat coil, and it'll actually steam that up. And you can put it in a little box. It'll go up to the top, hit the steam, then it'll come back down and fill up the little water pool again. And you can create a cycle that way. So it's a pretty interesting experiment. So Doug's got 25 years of those notebooks. Yeah, I think we all have quite a fit. It would trip you out, the high voltage experiments I've done in here. The wife forced me to get a fire extinguisher because of it. Setting a little bit of too much wood on fire. I had to kind of move some of that stuff out of here. So let's see. Between the two plates is the ether. Yeah. I guess when you think about it, but the ether I don't think is the plate itself, but it's the fields inside of it. So yeah, I think you're pretty much right on there, because you got to remember, I keep talking about the fields. It's so hard to say because if you don't see them, it's hard to distinguish what you're looking at on a video. So if I tell you that high voltage is stuck in there, the only way I can show that to you is if I take a piece of like dryer cloth or something and put it on there, and it actually jumps the field over the Tesla coil field, and comes out, and then you hear all my computer and everything go off like crazy. Well, I've released the EMI out of the Tesla coil field when I do that. So I show it in that way. And then when you adjust the voltage and you have a Tesla field that's out here and you have a high voltage field on the outside, you bring in the high voltage field to suck it in, right? And then the Tesla field pushes back on it. And what you'll get when you put the light up to it is a heck of a lot more energy because the two fields are interacting at that point. And at that point, you get higher energy. So if you know to look for that, you can know exactly where the fields are. If you're sitting in the, in my garage with me, yeah, you'll be able to tell. You're watching on camera, not so much. It's kind of one of those in-person type of things. Well, let's see. What do we got here? You guys got your own conversation going on now. There's Richard. How you doing, Richard? Let's see you again. He came on the Facebook, man, and joined our group on there. I wasn't lying, guys. We got some smart people on there, and by far I'm not the smartest. So just understand that I've eaten my humble pie a long time ago. Those days are over. They're over a long time ago. So anyway, I love talking about fields and stuff. We were talking a little while back, a couple of people, on an email about what an atom is, and just the model of the atom's wrong. It is to me anyway. Okay. And you got electrons and you got protons and stuff. Well, obviously the protons has to be positive on the inside. Electrons negative on the inside. They're always trying to grab each other. But if you could think of it as an exercise ball, but in fluid. So it kind of moves around, kind of, like the blob or something. And then as you push, the energy tries to get in to get to the positive and try to get together. It pushes the blob back out on this side, and the energy comes back out on this side. So it creates fluid motion all the way around in every which way that you have the electrons. At least that's the way I see it. Always in rotation, always in movement. And that's kind of the way I saw that. So they had a guy from NASA talking about magnets, and not magnets. Magnets means you got ferromagnetic material it has to be part of. It's more of the charge on something. If you can create a heavy charge on something, it's as good as a magnet, but it'll actually do everything that we have. You can take your toilet paper roll for all I care. If you put a charge on it, it's going to try to attract that charge. And it's probably the better way to understand it than magnets, because magnets give off the wrong, the total wrong idea of what we're doing here. So charges, and that's one of the experiments I'm really excited about. Once I replace some coils I blew up, I'm going to be doing the experiments on that. I got two different scales. I got an electronic scale, and I have an old school weighing scale. So we're going to put it on both. And I expect to see some heavy pound, I want to say pounded, probably grams. You know what I mean? I know I'll get a gram or two or more force being directed in one area. I can tell you that just by taking my ruler and tapping it and see how much is there. There's a lot of force in one direction. So it's going to be interesting if we can get that to a 0 point where the amount of force equals the weight of the craft. And because I'm tired of looking at scales and somebody telling me it's anti-gravity. We'll find out. Is it really? I don't think it is. And do I think a small lifting force on top of that might do it? Yeah. I have a good feeling it will. Do I know that for sure? Absolutely not. One of the hypotheses we'll find out when it happens. You know what I mean? So anyway. I don't know. People talk about their hood over there. That's not part of me. I do live on the wrong side of the tracks, but that's only because everybody around me is like super, crazy wealthy or something. I don't partake in that. I don't want any part of it. So, let's see. Yeah, atoms. Let's see what he says. Atoms are a little bit balls of widely wobbly, timely stuff. I guess we'll know if we ever shrink. You know what I mean? I guess that's the only way to know the truth. or we get a camera that goes in there, small enough. But we all kind of have our ideas about it, I guess. So that's funny. Uh, so let's just talk a little bit about this, about the Graviflyer and the understanding of this. And I just want to get to the Tesla coil a little bit. I'm working on it like crazy, so I just want to kind of go over it. And I sent you a message on this, Todd. I don't know if you got it, but I wanted to take that Tesla coil and push my own volume of energy into it. And there's a reason I want to do it. Yeah, partially I'm deaf. I can't hear. Not a whole lot. But anyway, part of one of the reasons my kids call me an old man. So I can't hear nothing. Anyway, I want to be able to hit this thing whenever I want. I think I know right where the resonance points are and stuff like that. So I want to be able to hit it in my timing. And by doing that, I'm going to take one part of the illusion out of the equation. I want to know if I can hit this thing and if I know it's right, if it does something for me. If it does, I can take away and peel back some of the layers that he put in there on how he intertwined this thing and just peel it back a little bit. And just to see, hey, do we get this thing right? I mean, is there some amount of energy that could pop in there and change this field? We know we can push him. And if he says he gets an EMP, he must be pushing it pretty hard in order to do it. He does it by the feedback in the Tesla coil. I don't necessarily need to do that. I just need to hit it with that surge of energy. And I think we can get somewhere with that. I think it's one of the most promising things we've done to this. It's not that I want to put a ton of voltage in it. I want a voltage change, and I want to evaluate the change. And I'll do it, like maybe 10 volts at a time. And we'll see where I think the point is. We'll hit it, and then, we'll write it down and figure it out. That's probably the best way to do it. And I'll know. It'll tell me right away if that high voltage, came out and pushed out, my computer probably shut off, and I'll probably lose my hard drive. So I back it up and send it in the house, you know what I mean, for those reasons. But man, if it does it and it pops off a little bit off the ground, man, a $2,000 computer is nothing compared to seeing that thing come off the ground. Let me tell you that. So yeah, it's one of those things that I look forward to doing, man. The Tesla coils, it's not, there's a lot of science that goes into it and how to do things. And we're just looking for the best way that everybody can do it. So why a ZVS and why not put more circuits together? Because you can just buy it off shelf. You're basically buying two capacitors with it. And as long as you understand how to tune it and we, go through the process of doing it together, not a problem. We can all get on that same page. So, yeah. We're going to be testing here hopefully tomorrow. I don't know if that Tesla coil is going to be ready though, man. Building every part of it, I'll have it tuned up and I'll know exactly if it matched up with the sheet that I did. And we'll see if it actually measures up to it and it has the right kilohertz in it. I hope so, because, that'd be a real good sign that we did it right. And I showed on the Graviflyer website we did on the Facebook of a longer coil. People were concerned the coil was too long and it wouldn't resonate properly. And hopefully that kind of put that myth to bed a little bit. It showed a nice tall coil. And guys, the number one coil was like this small, and the number two was like this. It was like just outrageously different. So, yeah, it still worked. And the guy did it with a Slayer exciter. I'm going to do it with a ZVS. Pretty much the same thing. ZVS is just a built-up Slayer exciter. That's really what it is. So, get rid of that myth of, hey, is it AC going in your Tesla coil? No, never has been. I've only used DC. It's never been AC. And even if it has a sine wave, it may not be AC. So some people out there still see static volts as, AC, and it's not. Shows a sine wave, but it's not the same thing. So you just have to be able to distinguish the difference. Oh, man. But yeah, I do compare some kind of fields like that. We are in a static field. I mean, think of it this way. How else do you go put basically have a hot air balloon and you put something on it and you get one of these little motors that runs up there, an atmospheric motor, and you go, well, there must be a lot of energy in the sky. Well, yeah, there is. And it's kind of a telltale sign of what we're living in. And we're just too far away from it. It's like such an enormous field that we don't feel it because the other part's so far away. And I guess if you did this in your experiment in your garage and you had the right, things hooked up to it, you could see it. But man, it would be an interesting test to take just a plate of dirt and, see if I can't get that thing to do something and show something in it, or show a little bit of energy here or there. If it takes up any kind of thing, maybe put water in there, see if it gets energy into the water, something like that. Maybe some salt water. I think that'd be an interesting experiment to do and kind of tell you a lot more about what's going on in the gravity of the Earth than a lot of the experiments they do. So, oh man, we got a lot more people showing up. Right on, man. Right on. Yeah. That Tesla coil, man, just so you know, I will be showing another video where it oscillates properly. So I have my number one coil backward. I wound it backward. Sorry. Couldn't remember which way I wound the primary, or excuse me, the secondary coil. So I didn't know which way to wind the primary. So what it would do was it wouldn't oscillate at all. And then I'd force it to oscillate and I'd get a little bit of sparks out of it. Man, I blew up a driver one time with that. Just exploded the whole thing all over my whole garage. But, I'm pumping 120 volts into that thing when I was doing the Tesla coil at that time. It was beautiful driver, man. I love that it was a little Chinese driver, man. Worked great. Absolutely amazing driver. And I fried it. Just completely fried it because I didn't realize what I was doing. And now I just put arrows on everything so I just don't forget. So, yeah, that's always fun, right? Some people lack imagination. Well, some people do. I get those people all the time. It's just the only comment is make it lift, make it lift. Well, okay, yeah. They haven't figured out anti-gravity in how many years, and you want me to make it lift in a few months? That's kind of a big ask. I mean, we're getting there, but man, I can't make a miracle. It's got to go at its own speed. God knows I'm putting everything into it. Guys, you've seen my videos. You know that every time you turn around, I got something new to say. Look, I'm trying everything. If it sticks to the wall, it's going. So just understand this. It's not for a lack of trying. That's for sure. So yeah, I hope I figure it out, man. So let's see what it says right here. Worked at a Polish mine, electrical work, electrostatic. Yeah. You know what? A lot of people don't realize earth elements and how much they work in your experiments. I always talk about this. I had granite. And if you put water in granite and it has fluoride in it, you'll actually get a charge from the granite. Obviously, it's not very much. It just shows it's conductive on there. And as far as the charge, it's like point and maybe like 7 zeros and then something. It's not very much at all. But when you connect them a wire to the next one, it forms like a battery with that conductivity. And then you start to get a higher and higher amount of conductivity until you reach the point where the conductivity grows and grows and grows, and you don't have to do anything to the experiment. It just continues to go. I had a fortunate time. I turned on my sink and turned it off. I had high water pressure, and it made a boom. It made a very big impact on there when I shut it off. It sent a little bit of a pulse wave, and you see an energy spike. Boom. It just hit it. It's kind of like what we're doing here with the piezo disc and the Graviflyer, but it's like, guys, this is granite. It's not supposed to do anything. People put it on the countertops. I mean, but it just goes to show you that the elements in the earth, because of the piezoelectric part of the actual quartz, there's actually stuff going on there. And if you have an electrically charged thing like water that can get inside the material next to the quartz and you can create a pulse on it, you can get some energy. So just an interesting thing, just an experiment I did a long time ago. So, yeah, the math. Oh my God. I don't do the math before the experiment. I do it afterward. And I want to be able to quantify something. And that's why I do it. I don't want to guess and try to quantify something I don't understand yet. So math always comes secondary for me. Not in doing math, but just we have to do it after the experiment. Not I don't ever try to do it before. So yeah, crystals, ALUM crystals. I'll check that out. I love crystals of different things, man. Um, yeah. Oh, I'm in all that stuff. Alexi's Graviflyer was stolen from his garage. It says material is something special. Later, he found his corrugated aluminum, which gave him the result. Did you guys ever see the test that he did in water? He did a test of, I think it was conductivity or electricity flow in water with just a piece of regular aluminum, and then he did it with the one that's corrugated, or however you want to say, the one we use for our plates. He did it, and he actually found that it has more conductivity. And I guess it goes to the beetles. I know a lot of people, may not understand this, and this is just my thoughts on it. But when you bring frequency of two wings in there, you get the frequency there. You get a chamber of any kind that takes in that frequency. It's going to bounce around that frequency. So you're going to get a natural resonance chamber. They have those little hairs on them. You know what I mean? Like this, that are inside, right outside the shell. And they pick up frequencies and vibrations. So in this little beetle, you actually get what we're looking for in a Graviflyer. And that's why Grebennikov was actually looking at some of this stuff when he did it, because he noticed it. And if you get a resonance chamber, anybody who's ever been around a microwave and how they work, you'll know that resonance chamber will amplify that energy. So when he's talking about these plates the way they are and amplifying energy, guys, I've seen it in my own garage when I run my Graviflyer. I've gotten way more energy, coming out of it than I'm putting into it. So it's amplifying the energy, and it has to do with the fields crossing together and then hitting the resonance points in the disc. And I can't explain to you how important those frequencies are in there. And people want to put magnets on the top and magnets on the bottom. It doesn't work. I've already tried it. Doesn't work at all. It just messes things up because you've got fields rotating in different directions. So it's not going to give you the result you want. It's actually going to be counterintuitive to do it that way. That's why he put the high voltage field on the top plate and the magnets on the bottom, so we can get a lock between the two to slow down that upper plate. Now, if you put magnets on the top, it will not only not do that, it'll actually reach a point where they bounce away from each other like this as they have the magnetic fields increase, and it'll cause problems. It's totally the wrong way to go. So, yeah. Anyway, all right, man. What else we got? Casimir effect. I'll let you guys do that one, man. Yeah, they're all north up. Yes and no. Did you check it, Todd? Because they're just fridge magnets. Is what even when you get to the neodymiums, they're all just fridge magnets. So it's not really a polarity that I could tell. Todd did check it. Okay. Then we got north up, guys. That's what we're looking at. Pretty interesting. I tried a bifilar coil underneath the center plate because I wanted to get the magnets to bump like that. I had more luck putting magnets on top plate to get them to bump than I ever did that bifilar. But it was still the same thing when you looked at it. I was just looking to introduce a magnetic field to it so I can get a reaction out of it. I always thought that if you bump those magnets on the bottom and push them down a little bit, it'll be pushing a field. And if you push the field down hard enough, you should get a jump. Maybe it could be way off on that. And that's what I thought, well, God, years ago. So I'd love for that to be the way this is working. That would be absolutely outstanding in the way it works. It'd be actually a lot easier way to do these things. That's for sure. Let's see. I had to put a lot of my hand coils were resident due to the fact that I was getting multiple high voltage breakouts while pulsing at 12 volts on the primary. Yep. Yeah, I've had that. Sometimes you have to watch out if you nick the wire. Oh my God. One of the hardest things to find sometimes, unless you turn off the lights. Uh, you nick a wire on accident and you're getting some high voltage going on, and then you're getting a spray from it and you don't realize it. And you can start to smell it in the air. And you're like, well, this is not supposed to be happening. And then you look down and you go, let me just turn off the lights for a minute. And then you see the spray coming out of your coil and you're going, oh man, this sucks. How did I do that? And it's so far in, man, that you don't know. It's like building an AC flyback and you use the wrong wire. You just go to the Amazon and pick up some regular wire, some magnet wire, and you don't realize the degrees of it. So the normal way those things fail is it heats up instantly, melts the magnet wire because all the wires are bunched up together. They create heat inside there. The actual iron core gets in there. The iron core is putting off heat. It melts that actual coating on the wire and it fails. And it usually takes maybe about 3 minutes tops to do it. So you have to get the magnet wire with the heavier coating on it in order to avoid that. And then you put it inside the mineral oil, and then you have to vacuum out the air inside, because the air pockets are like, just think of them as heat bubbles. So every time that you have one of them hit something or hit a wire, there's a potential for the heat to just, boom, spike that thing right on up, and it melts the wire. So you have to take all the bubbles out of it. You have to vacuum, put it in a vacuum and pull all those things out so that it works properly. So this, in case you ever wondered if you do those type of experiments, that's what I've found. Oh man, Hutchinson effect. You guys see those pictures? Those are awesome, man. Those are awesome pictures of the Hutchinson effect. He must have had those things like going. So he's going to get a horizontal, and then he's going to get a vertical frequency, and in the middle, it's going to create this frequency ball of energy, and it's just going to spike and tear out. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like he did. And man, it ripped holes in that stuff. That's some solid metal, man. Just ripping holes. So I would have loved to have been there during that experiment. Probably wouldn't have kids right now, but I would have loved to see it. So you don't get heat in your system. That's why I want to see your coil. Yeah, definitely want to see that coil, because I don't. Have you been on APAC yet and presented it? I know you were getting ready for it, Gerald. So I'm. I was looking forward to that. I haven't seen it yet. So July 6th, guys, tune into that APAC July 6th. Gerald's got that coil. I'm telling you, when we did the thing on the Free Energy Fridays, man, I was amazed by this thing, and I wanted to get some more information on it. So yeah, definitely check that out. He's got something going on there. He's being real secretive on us. I don't do that, but he's got something going on that is special. So tune into that. That's for sure. So, oh man. Yeah. Let's see. All the bits of plasma have polarities, and they get aligned to the face against another polarity and push off or pull them in. Yep. And that paper experiment that I did is a perfect example of that. I ripped out all the voltage and actually just went with the polarity on there and found a way to do it. And what a difference that makes. I can tell you that right now. So that whole experiment's got some, pretty good things going on in it. And I don't know that it's anything like what they're doing over at NASA or anything like that, or the people, on APAC or something like that. It's a bit different in itself. So I can actually take out the negative, and I can run two of them. So set them next to each other, right? As long as I put the positive and negative on the top, I can run the earth ground, just an earth ground, no energy, just the earth ground, and the experiment works. So you tell me what's going on there. There's a lot more interesting effects that go on in that machine than people would probably think at first glance. The fact that paper actually becomes a charged particle in the system is just amazing. It creates such a charge down to that plate. It kind of tells you what's going on in some of these big lifters that you guys really don't think about. It's got a lot to do with the charges. So, I don't know if crypto's having the free energy Friday this week. I thought it was a weekly thing. I mean, it's a week, right? Maybe it's just me. So I was looking for it all week, going, man, I'd like to tune back into that. And it wasn't on. It was a rerun. I kept seeing my face on there going, why am I on there? We did this, this last week. Who's coming on this week? So I don't know. It says yes every Friday. Why am I not getting the right episode? Maybe I'm not tuned into the right channel. I went to his channel that we went to for the free energy Friday, and then I went to Crypto's regular channel, and I still caught the rerun. So, and I even went to his Facebook and checked on that, and I still got the rerun. So I'd love to see more of that, though. That guy's show's pretty cool, man. I really enjoy myself when I go on there. So usually send you an email. I got to get on that list. Definitely got to get on that list. Guys, I sit in my garage all day and play with my Graviflyer, man. I got some time to spend with my granddaughter yesterday, so we went out and watered the plants and stuff. She's all excited, man, touching the water, playing around, So it was a good day for me, but usually I'm in my garage messing with all these voltage things, playing with my printers, doing something, trying to create something. I created the base for my Tesla coil. I got it printed out as soon as we're done here, and hopefully it'll be ready. So it's going to, 9 hours for each print. So we'll see. Just throw it on, the printers over here and let them go overnight. So thank you for that. Yeah, send me the link, definitely. Let's see. Great show. Well, thank you. I'm trying. This free energy Friday you're talking about, but I'll still take it anyway. But anyway, you know what? So let's talk a little bit more about the Graviflyer, guys. The actual thing that I don't know, the high voltage field. So let's talk about this a little bit. When we get that high voltage field, because the magnets are going straight up, it goes like this in between two plates. It doesn't start out here. It starts in here. And the most interesting part about it is when you get that link and the eddy current's transferring some of that energy through that link, okay? When they get there, you'll start to see, like I said, the upper plate slows down. The lower plate stays about steady because it's got force in it, and it stays that way. So it'll bring it down. And you'll feel the fields when he brings out the energy. If he locks it, then he brings it out. Then he brings it out, and you get this bigger field. That's what's so interesting. He waits for a lock first, and he waits. That's what the timing's for. When he goes through the 10-minute process, is he's waiting for it to lock, and then once he knows he has lock, he expands the field. Now, if we just tried to lock him with the magnetic field, we can get it done. But if you don't have anything that has energy in it that can get in the air, so it has to be like a higher voltage, you'll never get that field to expand. Magnetics will just stay right there the whole time and just do this. That's the only thing you'll get. You have to be able to put in some kind of a field that'll actually be able to be moved. And that's why I wanted to use my AC flyback, because I can get that field. That's why I showed that, just a plasma experiment that you see, and it shows it going into that coil with those two saw blades. It's because if you know how to play with the energy, you can get it to thin out, and you can get it to create plasma in there instead of just arcing all over the place. So I showed that in my Graviflyer as well when I ran it out of control. Yeah, the plasma in that thing, man, was gorgeous. It just, you could see it peeling off the thing. Every time that little disc had a slice in it, it peeled off energy right onto that center plate. And I don't know if you noticed this, the plate itself ate it. When I did the actual experiment with the fog, it wasn't going anywhere, guys. You would put the fog in, it would, boom, force it down, and then boom, out. That's exactly what it did. It's telling you that field was directed right there. So, I kind of had it, but I had the center plate involved as one of the electrical parts. When you separate it, we'll find out how much that field's there. So put some rod and coil frames if you need to, man. Just I just need the STL, and then I'll ship them off to you. So like I said, I got 6 printers sitting right over here. Got a bunch of CR10s. I got a bunch of printers behind me. You know what I mean? I was on my CAD all morning this morning designing my Tesla coil base. So I put that on the Facebook group. You can see it on there, man. Just trying to get something a little bit different, a little more industrial kind of thing. I don't know that I'm quite done with it yet, but yeah, I do CAD design as well. So I get on there and can manipulate that thing pretty good now. So I design whatever I want. Yeah. Let's see. So if I have it right, it is high voltage field. It has the expanded longitude and the magnetic created the spin. Or so I don't want to say this. The actual only thing that comes into this, I shouldn't say that, because yes, it does. It does go between the two. So I guess apparently yes, longitudinally, yes. So straight up and down, yes, on that. But it's not pushing the fields necessarily up and down. It's pretty much like this, kind of that imperfect wobble that some people would stop by my channel and remind me that, hey, it's wobbling. And I try to tell them about a fan motor, and they just absolutely do not understand. They wobble. So anyway, because there's more weight on it than the actual fan where the fan motor does. Anyway, get back to what I'm saying. Yes, you'd get that. So you get going from here to here. That's the thing that goes in there. So think about it. If the field comes out here, then if you're pushing down with the actual piezo, right, and it's making that drop just like that. So what do you think it's doing to that field? What do you think it's doing to manipulate this field here? I mean, those plates are not very thick, and there's a reason for it. They're super thin. They'll move. Can you move it? So you hit this Tesla coil, and it expands the energy, so it's a little more free. It's a little more movable. And then you got this piezo just, boom, dumps a bunch of frequency in it. So when it dumps that frequency back in there, it spikes the frequency. Again, you got to remember, it's like adding a frequency to something that already has one. The amplitude of that frequency then goes up. So when you get megahertz being created in the craft, you get megahertz coming into it, boom, you're going to get an explosion of that. And the frequency itself is going to spike. We all look for that in our experiments, guys. We all want that frequency spike, but he's getting it right there. And you know what? He didn't even have to work hard to get it. That's what's crazy. Everybody wants to know, hey, where do you set your Tesla coil at? Where do you do that? Put the wire down the throat of the Tesla coil. It automatically gives you that frequency. That's it. That's the whole answer. You don't have to tune it. Just put it down there and you'll get it. Why? Because it's making the frequency in the craft. It's sending it to your Tesla coil. It's sending it to your piezo. It's all one unit when it works together. Boom, boom, boom. Chain reaction. That's the way it works. So, like I said, he's interconnecting it, man. He's got this whole thing that just fires off like crazy. And he's getting a big amplification out of it. I mean, a big one, not a little one. So, I mean, if it's sitting there and take out a space heater, you got something hitting some amplification points there. So the magnets themselves, like I said, it's kind of a misnomer. They have a shell on them. They can only go up. They can't go to the side. So you're not creating a magnetic field with the magnets. But the voltage putting on it is creating a magnetic field on the plate itself. Because it's aluminum, it has eddy current. It's the more energy that you put in there, the more the eddy current kicks in and pushes that field out. So instead of it being right on the plate, where if you had steel in there, it's coming off of the plate the whole time. It does not want to be there. So it is creating the fields like that. So yeah, you're polarizing the air because it's taking in the static volts. Every time you're creating static volts, it's creating them on the inside of the field and the outside of the field. Remember, the fields interact together. So it's creating on both sides. It's energizing the air around it. So you're definitely getting a bubble going on there. Definitely getting a bubble. And if you think about it, you go, we're getting a bubble, right? So what's a magnetosphere? It's a bubble. And inside there, you're getting static fields. And right on the outside, you're getting static fields. It's kind of the same thing, man. You're creating a gravity well here. And everybody's elusive on what they are. Have you seen one? Stuff like that. Well, if it pushes a field out, pulls a field in, holds a field to where it's supposed to be, and if you could take frequency and sound and hold in between the sound and you can hold plasma there, guys, I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's a whole bunch of elements to go into it to make the same thing. So if he did figure this out, like I said, he's a genius. So let's see. Gave me an idea for an experiment. Well, I'd like to see that experiment. Gerald, show it to me. So I can't wait to get into your channel and see what's going on there. So let's see. You like the shape of the disc, radio frequency. Yeah. He says you can pick it up on the AM frequency band when this thing goes. So I'm going to have to get me some, go to a yard sale and pick me up an old time radio and see what I can't figure out. I like the old time stuff, man. It works a lot better. It doesn't try to noise cancel anything. It tries to just give you pure stuff. So, give me something from the 60s to 70s, something like that, 50s, anything from the 50s. So I try to stay away from some of the new stuff because they keep playing with this electronics and I don't like it. Just give me the old stuff. I hate my power source. When you go to turn the thing on, you want to use it, and then it faults on you because it's got some power protection in it. Man, if I want a power protection, man, I can't even say what I think about that. So just give me the voltage. That's what I paid for. Give it to me. I don't need your gimmicky stuff. Just make it work. Sorry, I get a little impatient on that. So power sources, man. I blew one up last week. God, $60 on a power source, blow it up. I'm real hesitant to spend $500 on power source because I'll know I'll blow it up. Better fill out the warranty card. Anyway, anything about cathode rays? No, not too much familiar with anything like that. I don't deal in stuff like that. The last thing I had rays that came out was my magnetron, and it zapped me in the eyeballs. So I stopped playing with that thing. But I tell you right now, my eyesight's never been the same afterward. It's kind of like burning yourself when you're doing welding and you flash burn your eyes. It was kind of the same experience. So I stopped playing with that thing. DC or AC source. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mike, for which thing. I don't use AC sources. I don't use them. Everything I use is converts to DC. So I don't use AC at all. It's always a conversion. So anything that you see, if you see me, big transformers or something like that, I'm converting. So I won't use AC. It's a destructive energy. And it's kind of one of those things you've ever taken an experiment. I took these little, spikes, put them in this little round wheel. It's a, piece of wood. And basically I took these taser things and I hooked it up all the way around here, right? So you get this taser that go off and all the way around inside there, right? So they had, as cool as it was, as loud as it was, as much to freak people out, let's just step it up. So I put some DC high voltage in between it. So right through there. So you had this round thing, but right through there. And then I zapped it again. And it was absolutely destructive. The energy fields hated each other. They just attacked each other. And in every way possible. And then you get this one that came back because the wire wasn't close and it just come back and zap the whole thing. And you go, boom, with more energy in it. It was like an energy ball in there. So, no, I don't mix energies like that anymore. It's all destructive. I'm trying to do it for constructive purposes these days. So, let's see what else we got going on. Almost blinded yourself by testing lasers. Yeah. That stuff's not fun. I seen one guy on the internet. He does these gigantic lasers, man, and he makes these outrageous Tesla coils. I tell you, he better have the experience of a lifetime out there. You know, I might like to be in the room next to him and watch it. Maybe, put up like some barrier right there, plexiglass, anything that'll stop it. But I don't know that it will. Love to see that, man. Love to see that kind of stuff. But I don't want to be directly in the room with it. After it's out my eyes last time I don't want anything to do with it. So. The fire. I don't know if you're having a separate conversation going on or not, but yeah, my experiment went on fire. Absolutely, that wood went on fire. Yep, another reason I had to get a fire extinguisher. My wife comes out in the middle of me putting something on fire in my garage. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get in trouble for that one. So, solid state design. Yeah. Did you guys see that? Ian did that. That's amazing, man. He's using these coils, okay? And they're flat copper. So he's making these big coils that are flat copper, and he's putting the right frequencies into it. And it's kind of a play on the frequencies and resonance on what he's doing. And then he has his, piezo buzzer at the top, and he's got 3 separate coils, a bigger one and 2 smaller ones, one on top, one on the bottom. Absolutely amazing. I love to see how that thing's coming out, man. I just love to see how it's coming out because, man, have you seen his setup in there too? All kinds of equipment, just like a whole wall of it. So I thought that was awesome. Totally awesome. So sacred geometry, yeah, very well could be sacred geometry. Let's see. I think that the gravitational waves can be deflected from any object. Let's see if there was an electromagnetic field and certain value around it. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. No, because if it's just high voltage DC, not necessarily. If you thin it out one way or the other, yeah, and you create an actual field out of it, yeah, but a conventional way, no, not at a level you'd see anyway. It would be something that you wouldn't be able to pick up. They're too sucked into the plates. And there's no field going on. I mean, the field because energy flows, but you're not getting an expansive field. Is what I'm saying. So, yeah, you'd have to have something like that. So, keep going. Yeah, I am. No matter how much I fry, guys, I always come back and do it again. It's not going to scare me at this point. I think I've been zapped with everything in my garage. I don't think I avoided any of it. I tried. I definitely tried. And I don't put anything in here that would kill me because I know something's going to go wrong. So, and it's the craziest things. Look, my drill gets electrically charged, and it's not taking any voltage onto it. You start spinning a hole saw on it, and you're putting voltage on it, and there's a ring right there, and you're just creating voltage around it. Man, the static charge that comes off that, it'll zap the living daylights out of you. So you kind of have to watch, man. Some of these experiments you do, you don't think you're touching something, and you are, or you bump into something. You try, something comes by you or something, and you start to wave your hand, and then boom, next thing you know, you're zapped. So one hand rule all the time, or pocket pull rule, as I call it. Just keep one hand away at all times. So how many times have I shocked in my life? A lot. 110, a lot. Building a room extension, try to do it with your, it's just me. Don't try this at home. My brother is an electrician. He goes, okay, Nathan, let's do this, right? So he goes to strip the wire of the 110, right? And he takes his little tool, goes like this, and pulls it out. And then he takes the wires while it's still alive, mind you. And he's cutting them and twisting them together. And he goes, okay, it's your turn, right? Oh, yeah. I think he did it just to get a good laugh. I think that was his coffee for the morning or something, man. He just laughed his butt off for me. And it was like, okay, Yeah, I hit that a couple times. I actually was playing with a breaker and I put my head on top of the metal piece that comes out. Yeah, I got zapped right through my skull on that one. Yeah, luckily I didn't get hit with a full voltage. I'd be dead. So yeah, I definitely did that. I don't play with 220. I have it for my table saw. Absolutely will not touch that line unless I turn it off at the breaker. Not a chance. Not a chance in this world am I touching it. So because it's AC, it's destructive. It'll kill you. There's way too many amps in there, along with too many volts. Absolutely kill you. The stuff we're dealing with here, guys, the flybacks, EVS, you're putting 24 volts into it. You know, we're not. They say it's high voltage because the volts actually are high, but the amps are so low. It's not as bad as you would think. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean go out and touch everything in sight. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Just saying it's not the same as AC is. So, yeah, I wouldn't be messing with that stuff like that. Used to wire a warehouse for life. You got zapped more time. My dad thought it was so funny. He didn't know how to hook in the wiring, right? He had a 3-phase system in our shop. Dad was a cabinet maker. Anyway, when you touched the doorknob on the metal shop, right, you got zapped every time you didn't have your shoes on. When you didn't create that rubber barrier between you and the ground, well, let's just say you were grounded and you got nailed. So he thought it was the most hilarious thing to him. It was like one of those little buzzers your grandpa gets when you shake your hand and zaps you. He just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So, yeah, I mean, I guess looking back, it could be. Man, I don't think my kids were ever touching doorknobs if I did that. He probably knew better. And who cares? Kids would touch everything. It's probably what he thought. You know, tear up or destroy. They're always into everything. You know what I mean? Let's get them back a little bit. No one can say for sure that that's what he said, but man, I'm sure you'd be thinking it because I'd be thinking it right now. Let me get a little revenge on the people who tear up all my stuff. So, anyway, yeah, this crazy things go on in my house, man. All my brothers are contractors, you know. There's always some horror story if you go out there and work on their job site. They don't tell you about something on purpose, or they want you to step over here and they can't wait for you to do it and get your giggles. So, yeah, it's been a fun ride, man. My family, that's for sure. Coming and going out of the Matrix time, you never know, man. Like after you get zapped, man, you sit down and rethink your life for a few minutes, and you go, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking playing with this voltage. And then about 2 seconds later, you come back to your thoughts and go, well, maybe if I put it in this configuration, it'll work. You go, you zap yourself again. Oh, man, I've had those days. And it's just, you throw up your head and say, you know what, turning everything off. I'm leaving this room. I'm just done. I can't do it. I keep getting zapped. And it's hilarious later when you look at it like something like now. But man, at the time it sucked. It really did. So, but yeah, I get hit with some voltage once in a while, and I did it on my Graviflyer. I was over there, and I'm over there changing the adjustment on the plates, right? And apparently I didn't turn off the high voltage. Well, when you have arthritis, you start dropping things. So of course, here I am dropping my wrench every few minutes. Dropped it right there where it connect on both, and make a contact. Boom, zap, got me good right there. Just, yeah, it tells you, hey, you're alive. Hey, turn off the power, stupid. It's over here. Yeah, done that one too. So when you're adjusting it so much, you kind of need a kill switch. And I think that's the next thing on my list when I order some more parts. It's just to smack the big button and make sure everything's off. So, well, let's see. He infused himself with 250,000 volts and almost died, and he was stuck in his research. Not after that, he solved his problem. It might be true. That may happen. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad to say. I shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. I don't want to put it out there that it's okay to get zapped, but I think we've all done it. So, split wave Crawford Walton, what does that say? The positive and the negative equally and double the volts. So, I do have the positive side on mine. I have to make a negative side. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know exactly how many levels I want to put on it. So I was thinking maybe four capacitors on each side. Kind of do it low level at first, and then I could put more onto it. But I have built the, like I said, I built the positive side, probably like everybody does. The negative side, I'll have to build that. Charlie C was showing me the same thing that he did with his, and I think that's what I'm going to go with. The next thing on the list, guys, is a doubler circuit, and I wanted to try one. I ordered the parts, so hopefully they'll be here soon enough. And I think I got to go rob a couple microwaves of their transformers. So I'm going to be going yard sale shopping this weekend, and this weekend coming up, and we'll just see what I can't find. Maybe there's going to be somebody out there getting rid of a couple. Maybe get rid of some, CRT TVs. Get me some more coils. I need some used ones. The new ones, I don't like them as much. They too many amps in them. When you get the old ones, they kind of like they're a little worn down, so they give you more voltage than amps. So I kind of like those better. Let's see. Electro boom. Oh my God. Okay, let me read the rest of this real quick. Goes on vacation, tests the power source until he gets zapped. Did you guys see Electro boom when he made the heated seat? I literally have that saved so I can watch it every once in a while. He puts the wire on his seat, man, and then he goes to sit on it. And the whole shorts start on fire, man. And I just laugh every time I see it, man. I mean, it's the funniest thing in the world. He knows better, and he's doing it for like comedic effect, I guess. But man, he had to burn his rear end, man, and his back of his legs. He must have had singe marks for a while, man. But God, did I ever laugh when he did that. That was funny, man. I like that. All right. Let's see. You need help making the bobbin? Well, if I can help you, Mike, I will. I gave you my email on the last one. I'll send it to you again, and we'll look if we can't put that thing together. I got some wire here and stuff. I think, what is it, 20 gauge? And I got 28 gauge magnet wire, so maybe I can help you out with that. I don't know if those sizes you use. Let's see, Joseph Newton wrapped wire around foil balloon, 240 volts, flip the polarity, and it'll turn out hit with frequencies. Yeah. So, there's a lot of that stuff going around. People don't realize frequencies have so much part to play in all this stuff. Once you find out, man, there's no going back. You got to have that frequency amplification when you're working on this stuff. And if you work in an industry that you can't have it, like it's in tubes or gases or something like that, you're going to know everything about it because you're going to have to account for it to make sure it's not in there. So, okay. Let's see. That reminds me. Check your email. I sent you one earlier. Did you really? All right. I'll check my email. I checked it before I came online. I don't think I saw anything on there. It's just oldmannathanbutton@gmail.com. So it's connected to my YouTube channel. So I'll go ahead and do this. You know what? Let's see if it'll go in the chat here. So you guys have it. So there you go. If you guys got something to send me, send it there. And then, you know what I mean? We'll take a look at it. If, like I said, if I can help you, I will. And, I love collaborations on stuff, guys. Everybody helping everybody out. We'll all get, to the end together and see where it leads. So I built a lot of Gerard Morin stuff too. So I definitely understand his concepts. I spent so many hours watching that stuff, man. Some of the stuff he did was so crazy, years ago. So I pretty much got that guy figured out now. But man, it took a while. So yeah. Oh man, the good book. Yeah. You guys ever understand what that Ark of the Covenant was? That it was a frequency generator? I don't know if anybody ever tried to figure out what it was and how to convert, water and stuff and get your, moss out of it and stuff like that, and the heat and the play of actually what, oh God, was that? I just talked about stuff Granite does and how it plays into it. So it's a really interesting thing. If you understand it, you understand frequency and how it traps things into it, and which give me sound when it traps frequencies in it and stuff and pushes it on, and it can make a wave and stuff like that. It's a pretty interesting thing. I guess let's just sit down and write the whole thing, and kind of put the theory out there. But I think I did a video on it. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So let's see. Arc was a condenser Tesla coil replicated. Well, I don't know. I think it was just frequencies, to be honest with you. But there was a lot more to it, that's for sure. But it'd be interesting to trade some theories on that, to be honest with you, because I have a whole kind of a working model of how it's supposed to work and the pyramid. So, yeah, because of the actual water underneath putting out that pulse wave, and the fluoride comes from rain, and all the rainwater would go in there and settle right there by the Sphinx, and also at the bottom of the actual pyramid. So you'd actually get more energy into it than you thought you would. Like I was saying earlier with the granite and the conductivity of it with fluoride, it's going to amplify it. And then if you had a frequency generator in the center of it, you'd actually have something special there. And I don't know that the energy would go straight up like they keep saying on TV shows. I highly doubt that. It'd be more of a energy in the ground for like growing crops and stuff like that. And it would kind of like when you put your rod and coil in, you put the plants in there and it grows them faster and better. Or if you take a earth magnet, the weak ones, and you put it in there and you put the seed in there, cover it back up, water it, it'll grow faster than it normally should. And it probably has to do more with crop growth than anything else. I don't know that it was a big energy machine for UFOs. That would be really cool. Don't get me wrong. I'd be like hanging out by it saying, pick me up. But, I don't think that necessarily was for. Probably more for the agricultural reasons because of the resonance. But it'd be interesting to trade stories on that. So, as well as the Nile, yeah. Raising the lower, exactly. So, they knew a lot more back then than what they told you. If you see hieroglyphs as science formulas and how they work, like for instance, you see the reeds, right? And then you see the Aken, which is the cross for them. And then you see on the other side of B, right? Well, if you know the Aken's a resonance, right? If it creates resonance, then it makes sense for plant growth on one side, and on the other side, resonance are exactly what bees are attracted to. So it makes perfect sense that that's what it is. If you can understand it in that way, then you can see the symbols in the right way, and it tells you a volume of information because of everything that it does, and the way it's formed. Way more information there than you can write out in a couple little words. It would take you volumes of books to understand all that information. And if that's how they communicated, it's a much higher form of communication than what we use now. So, yeah, built upon a natural spring, and the water comes up and hits the bottom just like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, diagrams were formulas, recipes for many, many. Yeah, absolutely. If you do all these kind of experiments, it's kind of hard not to see it. I mean, I guess it depends on which experiment you're doing at the time and how you actually view it. But in all, you could see a lot of different things, man, different shapes and stuff that they made things out of. How they were watching the moon, tidal force, things like that. It makes a lot more sense than you would think. Now, some people would say you're crazy and stuff. Guys, we're building UFOs on this channel, for goodness sakes. So what's out of the realm of possibilities? Get it all out there. Let's just hear it. It's like if you guys ever look at the Black Pyramidium that you see in the Egyptian Museum, and you look in the front of it, it has the wings, okay, and it has the sphere in the center, and it shows you the DC voltage right there with the little antenna on it on the bottom. Anyway, the right side of that, you'll see a little kind of half blurred out image, right? That whole Oumuamua thing coming through our skies and stuff, it's sitting right there. It has a telltale signature at the bottom part. It has, and I don't know that I'm showing it, probably like that. It shows you the arc, right? There's a little arc that's on the bottom, and you can see that pinpoint right there. Comes down again. And it's like a perfect match if you were looking at it. And the more ironic thing about it is you can only see it when you block out the sun. So if you were going to recognize that this thing came into your solar system, you would have to do it during a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse or something like that in order to see it. So why would they put it on the side of that? Well, they knew it was coming. It probably comes to our whole solar system a lot. And, that's probably why it's there. And a lot of people don't put it down on that. Day of the Dead is right around the same time that you can actually see that thing in the sky. So kind of gives you a kind of a time reference in there. So Byron, you and I are going to have to conversate some bit on some of that stuff, man. That'd be definitely interesting. Okay. It very well could be hollow. Yeah, could be hollow. It could be a lot of things, man. I don't think they got the good pictures of it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, if it were up to me, man, I wouldn't be making trips to the moon for moon rocks. I would literally put a satellite on every single planet in this solar system and just check out what goes on. And I don't care how the mathematics work to get it up there, just get it done. You know what I mean? I want to see everything at all times whenever I want to. I just want the myths to go away. You know what I mean? If I had a chance, if I could actually get in a UFO and see Mars, absolutely where I want to go. Want to know if there's pyramids in there. Want to know if that face is real. Want to know exactly what it looks like. But it'd be the best experience in the world. Exactly what I want to see. I would literally stop everything tomorrow to go there. So that would be absolutely amazing. So, oh man, let me see. Breakthrough in a Dream. Yeah. Akashic Record. Yeah. I love all that stuff, man. All that stuff. Ancient Aliens, watch it all the time. Let's go to Mars, yeah. If Mars had a proper moon, it'd probably have a bigger magnetosphere. You get tidal force in there. It would unlock the planet for energy inside. If you had things moving in there, you'd probably have a bigger magnetosphere. It's probably all locked up. And it's sad. They got these two little asteroids. They call them moons. They're asteroids. So put a real moon over there. And I don't think it matters the density of it. It just has to be big. And that's basically what it is, because the actual field that goes around the planet will pull out to it, and it'll start to expand the whole magnetosphere of the planet when it does it. Whoever decided they wanted to put nukes on there and get the poles going, God, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. Dumbest thing in the world. You want to go there and put people on a planet. Hey, how about fix the planet first? How about learn a little bit more about how our gravity works so we can put a moon up there and fix it. And then we can all go there. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. I'm not into destructive means of doing something that could be fixed fairly easily. So getting Mars isn't that hard. You got to time the shuttle right. 6 months, I think, is what they said it was. Yeah. Just send somebody there. Seriously. How many people would do it? If you said, hey, let me get a poll right now. How many people will go to Mars? Buddy, if I can go in space, I would. But I don't think that fat guys like me get in space. If Be like that movie, man. What was that movie that everybody was in there? Um, oh man, who was it? The guy from Die Hard was in it, and they all went up to fight asteroids or something like that. So that that would be me in space. Well, if you think about it, if the field of the Earth wrapped around the moon, right, you would probably get auroras on the opposite side of the moon, and that's what they get. I don't know. You know, like I said, there's spheres of energy that go out, and they're wrapping it in there, holding it somehow. If you say, well, how does spheres of energy hold in a moon? Well, how does our sun hold it in all the planets? It's got to be the same kind of thing going on. So, yeah, it was a great movie. Remember the name of that movie? I'm trying to think of it. It's just not popping in my head right now. Bruce Willis. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, which guy was it? The big fat guy was in there, man. That'd be me. That's me. So, getting another tattoo or something. It was a great movie. Okay. Anyway, oh, HVAC run capacitors, HVAC run capacitors. Don't play with them very much. What do you got going on there? Is that has something to do with your transformers or something from the microwave oven or something? I usually see those generally together. Some kind of big capacitor with that, or run capacitor or something like that. Usually see those together. Zoom call, absolutely. You let me know. I absolutely have a Zoom call with you. Just let me know when you want to do it. So, I actually like to see your channel, know what you're doing first. That way, I can have some information. I didn't like going into some of that stuff. I don't know the experiment, so it's kind of hard to comment on something if you don't realize the experiment, what's going on. So, absolutely love to know the experiment. Before I go into it, but definitely a Zoom call. So, split wave CW. Okay. Gotcha. Let's see. I wandered off this rock called Earth too many times, like Antifa and the others, such as groups, makes place scary scary as you know what. That's what it is. Yeah. I don't like all that protesting either, guys. I don't care which side it's from. I I don't like any of it. I live in California, and I will never go into the city unless I absolutely have to. You know, I don't even like to drive down those roads. I I stay in my little area and stay away from all those big cities. Those big cities are war zones and protesters everywhere. They go in and steal stuff in stores and they do it right in front of you. And I don't want nothing to do with that. I consciously, I couldn't live with it. If you're stealing something in the store, man, I might whack you upside the head. So, best thing for me, stay home. So, I won't go to those places. So, it's against things that I believe in to go mess with that kind of stuff. It's just absolutely a war zone. Armageddon, yeah, that was a great movie. Love that movie. Mercury arc lamps. Is that what I just read? Anywhere? Not for me, man. Don't like mercury. I won't put it in my experiments. Won't do it in my garage. So it's unsafe. And I say that to zap myself a million times. Say something's unsafe. That stuff's really unsafe. Not to be played with unless you have a lab that's properly set up for it. What kind of music do I like? Just about any kind. Like while making that Tesla coil, I rocked out to ACDC. I turned around and listened to some Tennessee whiskey from country. A little bit of oh man, I love some R&B songs. They come on. Old school Run DMC, kind of back in my generation was the thing. Love that. Let's see. Yeah, Alabama. Oh my God, can that singer sing? Absolutely some Alabama. Oh man, what was it? I was listening to one song. What was it? I think it was the Angels in the Outfield song. Um, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. I can't think of it. But it was from Alabama, and it was just absolutely amazing. Did you guys see on was it AGT, the guy that came out and sang Journey? Oh my God! What was that? Don't stop ever believing or whatever it was. I can't remember the name of the actual song. Anyway, that guy rocked, man. That guy totally rocked it out. So if you guys have a chance to check that out, the AGT guy that went in there and sang Journey, amazing. So let's see. Wow. Don't stop believing. Yeah. Oh my God. You should see him though. He totally killed it. Like, who can sing that song? Like, you don't see many people doing it. I mean, that guy was pretty special. So yeah, that's the kind of music I listen to, man. So just whatever comes on, if it sounds good, I'll listen to some Elvis Presley once in a while. When the tune comes on the radio, man. And oh, what was the other one I was listening to? I love the AGT, BGT when they remake songs, stuff like that, and people come out and sing them. Totally into that. Um, so I'll listen to opera or something like that too. One of my favorite songs was on there. I'm trying to think of the people who sang it, but it was the Impossible Dream song that they had on BGT. Absolutely the theme song for this Graviflyer right here. To Dream the Impossible Dream. Absolutely. Blue Suede Shoes, love that one. Old school, man. Old school. Freebird, yeah. I heard that one the other day when I was over there building that Tesla coil too. Little Leonard Skinner action. Absolutely. So yeah, it kind of goes either way, man. I listen to jazz. I like jazz, man. Rocking out to that. Slow, steady beats, man. Just hitting that, just real smooth kind of stuff. So love that. Power music, yeah, a lot of power in music, man. If you actually know what you're looking for, absolutely. Have to look into that. Music's energy, yeah. You guys ever see the old school? What do they call mandolins or something like that? They had what was it? 12 strings? I don't think they call them mandolins, but something like that. It was like a 12-string guitar or something like that. Then more chords on it. Maybe I got the number wrong. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. They always said it was something that God liked to listen to, or Jesus, or somebody did, and it had more strings on it. And I can see why, man. Something like that would be cool. So, and it's not the harp. It's not what I'm talking about. It actually looked like a guitar. So, we listen to the same jam, yeah. Probably, yeah. Rocking out. It's old school, man. You gotta. You kind of came up in an age where you had rap hitting, country got a lot better, and then you started getting pop music that was more, I don't know, in tune with what we were all into. So like the 80s, early 90s, there's an awesome mess of music, man, going on. Just all kinds of cool things. They brought back some of the classics when they did the remakes, and you go, oh man, that was cool. So you went back and listened to the original again. Yeah, absolutely loved growing up in that time. So much easier than it is today. So I remember making little sailboats that go down the gutter. That was our fun as a kid, making mud pies and sailboats that go down the river with popsicle sticks. So let's see. Connect a LED across the guitar pickup. No power. Strum it and LED lights up. I'm going to try that. I got a guitar here. So is that an electric guitar or is that a regular guitar? Just anything? I got a box guitar sitting right here. I'll try that a little later. You had a room in the basement. They had 36 speakers. Okay, 4 amps, 2 crossovers. Oh my God, your parents must have hated you. Oh man, lights went to the beat of the music. Sounded crazy. Yeah, it does. Oh my God. That's outrageous. That sounds like my brother, man. He's in a band. They got all this stuff out there and rock and heavy metal and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of, man, with all that stuff going on. But then again, my dad rocked country music, man. He could sing. God, I wish I could do that. Can't do that. Absolutely horrible at it. So, yeah. Bismuth. How many people have played with that? I want to get some of that. I got a list of stuff that I want to buy for all my experiments in here. And, it only goes so far, guys. So that's kind of on the list. I just haven't made it to it yet. I bet it was awesome, man. That's right out of the 80s, bro. Seriously. You know it is. That's straight up 80s rock, man. You just had to blast music because you came into, the hair bands, plus you got, heavy metal at the same time, and then you cross between the two. And if you haven't listened to Metallica's One, you definitely will with that setup. Let me tell you that right now. Really. Bismuth is a metal resonance in helium and dimagnetism. I definitely have to get some of that. I have to play with it just to see what it does. Just put different frequencies to it, see what it does, and then put some voltage in it, see what it does. It may not do any of the things I want it to do, but it's going to surprise me in some way. I know that. So, just magnets. I've seen somebody spinning a magnet in between it. It blew me away because it must carry some kind of magnetic field in it. So, that's awesome. The biggest sound system ever created, the wall sound made. Augustus Wiley's Bear, Stanley, does it say ill for the Grateful Dead? Oh, no, it says Stanley the third for the Grateful Dead. Yeah, there's a show. Yeah, we definitely would want to see that. Definitely a good show. Twisted Sister. My kids listen to Twisted Sister because I played it in the car. So they like that one, man. We're not going to take it anymore. Yeah, I bet that's how they feel when their dad talks to them. Ah, you did this wrong. Oh, we're not taking it anymore, Dad. We're done with you. Oh, man, I can only imagine. Yeah, the third. Yeah, got that. Sorry, man. Just trying to read it a little faster than I probably should have. Yeah. So, oh, man, this is so cool, bro. This is a lot better than getting myself zapped today. Oh, leaving orbit. Nice. See you later, man. Thank you very much for showing up. Oh, man, this stuff rock, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue to play with some voltage, guys. I'm sure that's what people do. Have you guys seen where you can hook the frequency into the voltage and make it sing? Like, you can do it to a Tesla coil, right? But with the little circuit that I use, I can put frequency into anything. So instead of just putting the frequency in, you just hook up your iPod or whatever device you have that plays music, and you can put it in there, and on your high voltage coil, you can get it to sing. So that's pretty sweet, man. It just separates the high side and low side of your voltage. So all your voltage is like 48 volts, and on this side, only 5 volts go into it. So it just puts the frequency into the voltage. Things are a couple bucks on Amazon, man. Really cool experiment. You could be rocking out, man, doing a little thunderstruck as you're playing with your coils, and it changes the frequency so it doesn't interrupt your TV. It's no longer going to be at 50 hertz or whatever. It's going to be rocking out to your favorite band. So, right on, Mike. I'll check for that email. So, oh, let's see, ultrasound, airspace. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Well, most people call it Tesla coil is really the Odin, not Odin, Odin. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry. Tesla coil is double-ended. Are you talking about like the bifilar Tesla coils that way? The or bipolar? I'm sorry, bipolar. So you have the one in the center, and then the two tubes coming out. So may the forces be with you. Thank you very much for that. Let's see, quartz crystal and bismuth. Yeah, quartz crystal has some magnetic properties as well. So it's a special element. People really got to pay attention to it. It's more ingrained in the earth than you think it is. So, Uda. There you go. Gotcha. I Want to Fly song. Oh, who was that? I'm thinking of the wrong song here. Want to Fly Away. Is it that one? Or is it Tom Petty? Let's see. Good stream. Look forward to new updates. Yeah. Guys, I'm looking to test. As soon as that Tesla calls up, it's going to be nonstop on the testing. I just got to get it right. That's all there is to it. Like I said, I had the coil turned around the wrong way on my number one. I'll fix that. That's not a problem. I already built it. So, guys, we're going to hit this thing hard. And testing. I want to see something. In the next 30 days, I better see this thing do something. Okay? I'll put it outside of it. And even if a strong gust of wind pushes it over, I'd be excited at this point. I want to see something. We got to see some progress here. We found all the great little things in it. Got to see some progress, guys. I'm sure you feel the same way. I mean, I'm not lost on that fact. And, everybody wants to see it. God knows I do more than probably everybody else. Dealing with this thing every day, playing with it, learning new things. It's all great. But we came here for a goal. And that goal is to make this thing lift off the ground. And you know what? That's our job. It's my job anyway. It's what I take it as. So whatever I have to do for my part, I'm doing it. And like I said, guys, if you guys aren't part of the Facebook thing, you guys can join on there. I do my updates, by the way, for my when I do my testing. I just do it on there. I don't see any reason for people to pay for a special membership for anything. Guys, I'm just not that guy. Okay. I don't care that much. Okay. This whole thing's about sharing information. So you want help, I help you. You want to talk, we'll just talk, whatever. But if it moves your experiment forward, I'll do it. I'm not in it for the money or anything or the glory. I'm in it because I want to see something work. And that's really what it is, man. That's why I'm here. I don't want to play around with anything else. I want to see something work. All my money for my YouTube channel goes right into my list of things to buy to make this thing work. So it's just one big revolving circle. So that's where all of it goes. And God knows I want to get this thing going. So I definitely look forward to that. So let's see what we got here. Never silent. Yeah. Nope. Just not going to be silent about it. Guys, look, like I always said, if it lifts, I'm going live. And I'll go live right then. I won't even play games. If it's up in the air, I'll take my moment. You know what I mean? And that's about it. And then we go live. And what I'll do is I'll just go live on the, on the webcam here. And I'll see if I can hook in a second one just on the experiment itself. And then I'll take a camera phone and I'll go right over top, right underneath, whatever I can get a good shot of that, will stay in picture. We'll do it. I don't care if we're putting things around it to block it off, so there's no strings or nothing. Guys, the first thing I'd love to do is to take every one of those people to tell me about those stupid strings and just tell them about it. Now, I know that's not the right thing to do, but I'm going to tell them about it because I don't like hearing it. I'm not in this to make things do things with strings. I'm not playing with a marionette. I'm trying to make something work. So do not play games with that at all. Never in my life will I ever do that. I'd rather quit. So, yeah, money just gets in the way. Yeah, it does a lot of times. Sometimes you have to think about what you purchase when you actually have to save for it. So everybody should remember that. So, yeah. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's see. No fear of missing out on anything. hopefully you guys, you guys all pick this stuff up. I just hope you guys learn something. Maybe you guys could teach me something. I'm sure a lot of your experiments will cross over in mine, and we'll all come out better for it. I don't patent anything. It's all stuff that's been known for a long time. I don't know how you can patent it, but I'm sure some suit somewhere would tell me something different. I'm just not those guys. So Tesla cheated. He may have cheated on everything, but he was smart enough to amplify everything. It's kind of one of those things where you see people playing with a coil forever and they don't know what they're doing. Yet you pick it up and 5 minutes later you can change a lot of different things. You might be entirely right on that. But the guy was smart enough to change everything. And not only that, he took it to another level. So you can't discount that ever. So oh man. Read Steinmetz. He told me that a lot. And I've got a read list going. It's kind of hard to get through everything. There's a lot of things out there that kind of spoil the surprise when you're doing some of this. And I kind of want it to be my own experimentation. Yes, the wording would be a lot better for everybody to understand. I 100% agree. I'm just not there yet. I'm on the path of getting this thing to lift. And I'm sure if we go to present it anywhere, I'm going to have to know all those terms and I'm going to have to read that book. And I don't think I'll have a choice about it. And that's just the way it's going to go. You can't let everybody speak for you. So I'm going to have to put it all in perspective and do it right. So am I pushing off anything like that? Let's see. Was it electrostatic repulsion to push off water or silicon? No. But I wish it was. So when I do the field testing and stuff, I do have water present. It seemed a little strange, water present. I just want to see if it moves, if there's any charge getting on it. So I always keep like a little thing of water there when I do those experiments. Also, bubbles. I know it sounds strange, a little kid's toy, but I just want to see if it pops at a certain area, if it's hitting that voltage, if it tries to just get a little bit of soap on it, you know what I mean? And I know I'm hoping for a lot there, but you got to try something to see it. And do experiments outside, man. I haven't shown a lot of those, but I'm looking for the wind to pick up a little bit of a whirlwind somewhere, something that blows some stuff in the air, anything that hits those fields, and then you can see some kind of a change. That's really what I'm looking for. Just something that shows up that there's a bubble there. So let's see. I have a general way the flyer works based on what I've learned so far. The transducer is the key to getting it. In the fact that it brings up the frequency, yeah, it is, because it's an amplification of something. So yeah, based on the frequency going to the Tesla coil, going to the frequency, and then all of it comes down in the megahertz range. Yep, it has a lot to do with it. It's not the only factor though. Let's not go there, but it has a lot to do with the longitudinal part of this. So yeah, I mean, definitely. Okay. Transducer. There's no, there's the piezo disc, but there's no physical transducer in it where you have sound. There's no sound transducer in this thing. It'd be way too heavy for the craft. And I don't think you need it. That's not what you're trying to amplify here. We're not trying to hold something in a field. Usually when you deal with those, you're holding something in a field some way when you see the levitation experiment. We're not trying that here. So totally different concept on how things work. So if you're building a magnetosphere, a transducer would be great. Yeah, holding the voltage on a field on the outside, if that's what you're looking to do. That way you can get some plasma in it. That would be some awesome stuff. Okay. Piezo, yeah, okay. Same page then. Oh, Doppler effect. I'm not too sure if it does or doesn't. We'll see. Piezo is just a speaker, right? No. It's not. I don't want to say this. It's like a pulse wave. Best way to say it. It creates a pulse, and that pulse wave amplifies things. So if you know the difference between a resonance frequency and a resident frequency, and the fact that you have two frequencies in resonance, sorry, and then you put in a pulse wave to that, you're going to get a resident frequency. So what does that mean? It's the highest amplitude you can get out of a frequency. So when you think about it, you have all these frequencies going to the center plate. You have two plates that are setting frequencies of their own. All three of them are resonant. So a pulse wave through all of them is a complete and utter amplification of all of them. And that's the way that works. So amplification of frequency is exactly what you're getting out of it. And by the way, when you're getting something like that, it can't last forever. It's only going to happen for a few seconds. That's why you get the jump. You got to have a primary lift and a secondary lift. And your testicle has to be your primary lift, and your secondary has to be what the transducer does to your energy source to make everything amplify. So it's a two-stage system in there for sure. Let's see. The little thing on top is the piezo disc in the middle. Man. Yeah, right at the top. It's in the little cone thing at the top, and it just sits in there and it points down. So you don't necessarily see it, but that's where it is, definitely. Piezo quartz, yeah. Interesting, it's quartz, huh? Yeah, it's interesting that you're getting piezoelectricity as that. And if you look back at your hieroglyphics and stuff, you'll start to see stuff like that. Definitely something more in history that you should learn. Acts as the middleman. Yeah, you could say that. So it's definitely the trigger point, if that's what you mean, as the middleman. Yeah, definitely the trigger point. So that and the amplification of energy comes as soon as you're ready to push both. So, yeah. Oh, let's see. The image of a standing wave is shifting the feels giving water in midair. Yeah, I definitely seen that. The levitation experiment, I imagine that's what you're talking about. Shift away the wave tracker push. Yeah, you can take plasma, high voltage plasma, and do the same thing. So if you ever buy one of those little kits online and put it together, you can actually put the two speaker things right here, and you can put the high voltage in there. And when you move it, the plasma itself will stay in that little area that it's carved out like the water does. It'll stay right there as you move it. So most people think it's just pushing it or moving it. It's not. It's trapping it right inside that sound wave. So it's pretty interesting there if you actually break it down. Yes, the Tesla coil. Okay, what's the point of the Tesla coil? Scalar EM wave. So, yes, it's the part that's going to give you the anti-gravity is the Tesla coil. That's flat out what it is. It's the field that's going to do it. And magnetics played a big part in that as well. But the main field you got to have is a Tesla coil. It changes it changes how nature sees things. It doesn't change the weight of anything. So if you're under the understanding that a scale would work, probably in the wrong business. It will not change that. It's not going to change the actual weight of it. What you're going to get is it's going to change the way that the fields of energy that come down affect it. And it's kind of like I always say, it's snow. So if snow's coming down, and if you could find a way for the snow to stop from getting on your project and it's pulled to the side and it never piles on top of something, it's going to feel lighter than it would be if it's packed in the snow. It's not necessarily lighter. It doesn't change weight at all. It's changing how it deals with the earth itself. And that's kind of why it's a little bit different than most people think. I do the other experiments to show that it's not weight loss on a scale that's going to get you there. It never has been. It can't show up that way. It's got to show up as a field being moved. So freedom fries. It's been a long time since I heard that. Probably just something you put mashed together with magnets or grow. In or on the plate. Mesh. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe you're talking about something else. I don't think we're talking about the same thing there. Frequency, sound. Yeah, sound. Yeah. All of it in those experiments. It's funny how they all interconnect. I guess you really have to see it doing it just to understand that part. Definitely some interconnection going on there. So, oh man, people arguing with each other. Look, I just know the gravity waves, if you want to call them that, they're going to come off of this thing and not be able to hold on to it, and that's why resonance is so important. Always say horses on a bridge, or you can say anything you want to. If you find resonance points and things, it changes how things work on a smaller level. So it could be molecular, it could be atomic, could be something else, but it definitely works on that level. So it's changing those at that level. It makes things highly unstable because the Earth cannot act the same around it that it normally does. And when you say resonance, it's not just a vibration, guys. This isn't, one of those things. This is definitely something that is changing things so much faster. It moves so much faster. I always said if you got a quartz vein and you go over there and there's gold inside of it, electrify the gold and get a frequency in there and put a pulse in it. And then you'll probably get that quartz to light up, because it won't do it any other way unless you tap it. And if you tap it with pulses, it'll probably light up like daylight. So just interesting experiment in case you ever run across some. I haven't yet, and I haven't found something at a good price point yet to buy it. So, let's see. Electrostatic company meter can't tell you. Just listen to the 60, convert it. Yeah. If you play with it long enough, you can hear different frequencies in it. I pick them up in my head. I pick them up in these things here. So all different frequencies. They come across differently when you're wearing these, and some of them that amplify come out super loud. So even when you're half deaf, you definitely can hear the difference in them, and you can manipulate a lot of stuff doing that. So that's something interesting you should try if you ever pick up some in a yard sale or something, because you don't really need them, but you want to amplify something and listen to it. Just get a set of those, man, and it changes the way you're listening. That's for sure. Let's see. Do I have a goal to make the Graviflyer hop one time? Increase hops? So here's the thing behind that. If it hops, it means that it can sustain lifting the weight. And if it can do that, it's about thickening the field to make it stay where it is. And that should be fairly easy at this point when I'm doing the field research on the fields. So that's not really something I'm going to worry about. I'm more worried about getting that thing to pop. And if I can get it to pop, I can get it to stay in the air. So once that's done, man, we're going to get on it pretty fast. It's going to go pretty quick after that. And I think a lot of people tell you, just get a little bit of the hops in it, and you're good to go. And Alexi said that's what he did. It popped off the ground, tipped over, did other things. It showed that the weight wasn't necessarily an issue for this machine. And that's why I want to see that signal. I want to see something, just do a little bit of a jump. Guys, half an inch. I mean, I'm not talking very much. It doesn't have to do much. Just show me you're alive. You know what I mean? Show me you're going to do it. And then I can find the point where it's amplified at, and I will absolutely push it to its limit. So, I mean, that's really where we're at. Show me a little bit of life, and I'll show you that it works forever. So, yeah. Well, we'll find out, man. We're definitely going to find out. Gravity is the dielectric field. Probably. Probably right where I would, like I said, how I see it. So we're definitely on the plane of a dielectric field. So absolutely. So if you got a point up here and a point down here and you're in the middle, you're definitely in the middle of the dielectric and you're definitely getting the gravity waves from it, which would be just, a form of high voltage waves that we don't necessarily use. We're so stuck in AC and DC, we don't recognize things for what they are. Sometimes I'll use terms as like a magnetic wave or something like that, or magnetic energy. And all I'm saying is I don't want to call it AC or DC because it's not. When it goes in, and all you're doing is putting a pulse into a ferromagnetic iron core. And then it goes into the coils of wire. It's not really AC or DC. You can do it with any pulse you want. Give it a pulse, give it energy, and that coil is going to respond. So I don't like calling it AC or DC because once it breaks it down, it's not necessarily either one. And people get lost in that. And they start quoting you, oh, your Tesla coil is AC, and it's got to be AC. Well, not necessarily. It's not the same. And when you classify it that way, you limit what you can do. And that's exactly what a lot of people do. They come on and they say, it's got to be DC, it's got to be this, right? Well, what if I didn't need DC? What if I can use static electricity? What if I could do the same thing on a Van de Graaff? What if I can use different things and do the same effect? Are you sure that it was DC? Are you sure it was AC? I mean, some of these things are so intertwined, it's really not the appropriate term. So for everybody listening, you know what I mean? You can call it whatever you want. I don't like to call it that because it gives you a preconception on what it is that we're doing. And it changes the result in your mind even before you saw the experiment. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So anyway, just my thoughts on it. I like to keep things open and, just see what they actually are. What's the process going on there? And then, we'll deal with it at that point. And you know what? It may come down that somebody smarter than me calls it what it is. And maybe it is those things, but I don't think so. Voltage in this earth's been here long before we came up with AC, DC, which are man-made, by the way. And these things were around long before we ever came into this earth. So that's kind of why I see it that way. They also the same thing as me. Man, he's got a UFO experience going on there. You know what? We're going to have to talk one day, man. We're just going to have to do a little call, you and I, because I just like to hear the story. Love hearing UFO stories, man. But I'd like to get the full story. So, man, that would be very cool. If we can hook up one of these times, get on my email and shoot me an email, and let's do a one-on-one, man, because that'd be cool. So, I know you guys get offended. Now, look, I'm just going to say this to you. Am I calling him wrong? Don't know if he's wrong or right. Let me just say that. I'm telling you that they don't take into account and everything. You could take that the way you want to, but that's just the way I'm saying it. So do I call him wrong? I don't know that necessarily is. Don't know that it's necessarily right. I just know when you try to quantify something without knowing everything, you're going to fail. And we don't go that far into different power sources around the earth as much as we should. And that's going to offend you. And I know that. And I'm sorry for that, but that's just the way I feel. And to be honest with you, most of the breakthroughs that I make is because I have that mindset. So if I got locked into a theory, I'm sorry, I'll never achieve anything. I'll never get to build a UFO. We'll just be sitting here arguing terms. And I'm never doing that. So it's not my style. So I love a dead parish. He's really seen something. He needs to get it out there. Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to have that conversation. Guys, I'll listen. I'll definitely listen. So, yeah, I probably am missing the key points. And when I go to read his book, I may look back on it and say, yeah, I am missing it, but I'm not going there yet. Just not going there yet. I want to keep an open mind. As soon as I close it off, I won't be building UFOs. I'll be talking electrical knowledge. And guys, I don't want to do that. There's a lot of books that I have on my list that I want to read. Eric von Däniken. I don't know if I said that right, but I love to read his book, but I don't want to have it interfere with the way I look at things in the way that they are. I don't want it to come out that I'm saying something somebody else has said because I heard it have it in my memory somewhere. That's not the way I work. So, anyway. Oh no, people are arguing on there. Guys, I'm not going to argue with it about the book. Not my thing. Okay. Gravity is property of the ether frequency and polarity differences in the main force ether frequency. Turns it from stiff as molasses into liquid state. Maybe. I'm okay to go there. Yeah. I'm all right with that. Maybe I should have read it during the chat. Don't read books during chat. I don't read well. So that's not for me. So we'll just some other time. I'm probably talking to the other guy. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. It's been 2 hours. I think we're going to wrap this thing up. Guys, we're going to be testing this week, and I hope next week we're going to come back with something even better. So, you know my goal. Get this Tesla coil up and going. Get this thing to hop off the ground, man. Let's get this thing rocking, guys. I think it's time. I want to be able to push the button and get excited and not push the button and wonder what happened. So thank you guys for all showing up today and doing everything, guys. You got my email in the chat. Go ahead and contact me and we'll take a look. And yes, when I'm done with all these experiments and it lifts up, I will definitely read that book. So you have my word on it, man. I'll do it. I'm going to need to. So anyway, again, thanks guys for all the support and watching the channel and, coming here and visiting and talking. We had a great chat today, man. I really do appreciate all of you guys watching everything and kind of seeing how things are going and interacting on the channel and chatting and doing all that stuff, man. So thank you guys, man. Like I said, email me. I'm open to free and help you guys with projects if I can do it. Anyway, with that said, guys, thank you very much and have yourself a great day. Chapter 3, got it.